Alright, so it looks like my audio is working, so let's kick in. So, this week on the Mona Build and Chill, we're going to be looking at continuing the karaoke space. I had a wild idea, or not that wild, I had a branding idea where a lot of the spaces I want to make have the same theme. So, my cinema has this really cool kind of 3D wall thing that maybe I could put into the karaoke space and like start branding this whole vibe. Um, we'll give that a shot. We'll see what it looks like. So I got a few things with that. Also want to play with a little bit of reactor today. And some colliders to clean up the fact that I can run through glass. So let's look at all of those elements today over the next couple hours at least. So let's jump in. All right. So I was looking at trying to get some inspiration. I was feeling a bit flat, something about this whole area because it is pretty plain. And then came up with the idea of my thing that does stuff. For example, let's import an asset that I just stole from another space. Yep, these ones. So we'll get rid of that. So this sort of effect looks really good, especially with light mapping. So I've cleaned up sort of like the projector screen thing, so that's gone now. And I've got these two other ones. So I'm going to probably see if I can use these in the space. Now these polygons, like it's more polygons, but it is literally just those. So it's still lowish. And if it becomes a problem, I could maybe bake this into a map, like a texture. But I'm going to give this a shot first, and then we can optimize if need be. So I'm hoping we can work because it does look better with the light mapping and stuff as it is, but we'll give it a shot. So we might put it in here, but we're definitely going to put it in along here. So let's do that, and probably a lot of these walls as well, because that'll look cool. And that's all that matters. I'm also thinking of putting like some chairs here. Once again, like this is a metaverse space. So it's kind of an interesting area where we haven't explored, what would you call it? We haven't explored the idea of purely metaverse spaces, and many of them, when you do push it a little bit too far, it doesn't feel like a space you can sort of hang out in. So in this one, I'm trying to create something that's a bit more realistic. And maybe the deeper you go into, or the further in you go into different karaoke rooms, it starts getting more and more interesting or weird or digital in comparison to the front. So if you went to just going through the many karaoke experiences I've had in living in Japan, is that you'll go to the lobby and there's usually some seats there because you'll wait for friends as they to rock up. So creating these sort of things that can automatically connect where you are, what it looks like, what you do, is kind of a good thing. So I'm going to look at doing that in this area, and also I need to put something in here to make it more interesting because, like, otherwise it's just a lot of space. So I kind of thinking of like a square or a rectangle, or a shape of some sort in here for seating. Kind of tempted to put like an arcade or like some game machine, like a Dance Dance. I could put my Dance Dance Revolution machine here. That's something I could do. That'd be fun. So yeah, that's the thought. So yeah, just once again fleshing it out and giving it more things to do, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at with a lot of this. Why? What? Oh, it's mobile. Okay. Okay. Guess those are static as well. And those, but, because there's no lighting in there. Are those meant to be portals? No. This is the problem when you haven't touched a space in such a long time. You have no idea what anything is. Anyway, let's jump in. Okay, so first off, let's look at getting these details into the space. So I've got to find what that looks like. I think it's room. Nope, that's the new room. There we go. Okay. I guess the cinema's a lot bigger. Now, do we want like the whole wall, or do we want a raised bit? Too many options. We also have like having the bouncy wall there and having that would look pretty cool. So having a cutout, that would be interesting. So a fair bit of work I could do there. And I do want to do it. So let's jump in. How is everybody going today, though? The other question, maybe you don't want to put it in there. You just want to do sort of like the, what do you call it? The accent wall, I think they call it. So that's another part as well. So let's do this. I'm going to rotate that. We'll put these sort of together. So I think we're going to have to scale a lot of that down. Yes, that's smaller than those are. That's the escalator, not the escalator, elevator. Always get them mixed up. Yeah, let's just scale down. It's fine. Get rid of that one, clean that up. I feel like the detail in that one is it equal to? Not really. All right, let's Control L that one. We sort of want that to go there. The problem with that is it looks less. But do that. Maybe if I scroll it that way a little bit. Kind of works. No, they look very different. Okay, I'm gonna keep on moving that one. I think that doesn't work so well. That over there. Let's grab that one. Duplicate it. Rotate it to mix it up a bit. Ah, what's going on? Yeah, that looks better, I think. The catch, though, is we need to sort of flatten that bit there somehow. Um, so how would we do that? I'm gonna actually get rid of some of this one, because that and that look very similar. So I'm gonna actually get rid of those, and then sort of maybe straighten that line because that's pretty close, and that might be what we're after. More what we're after. Close, but no cigar. Okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to put that's clean, so that's nice. Um on that though, I'm gonna have to go to the bathroom for a moment. I don't think I have a line for that. Hang on. Maybe this one. Oh, there we go. That's cool. Well done, past me. All right, back soon. Done. And that is a good example of, like, do we need bathrooms in the metaverse? So if you're making a club and you're trying to make it real, like creating that element, do you put a bathroom? Because there are games that like the bathrooms in video games, right? That doesn't really make any sense, but we do it. So these are the hard questions that we need to look at. Okay. Now, the last thing we need to do is this bit. And that's going to be a little trickier because that was an easy clean. Cut, which I'm going to edit a little bit, I guess. Those two, we have a non-straight version, so that's good. Okay, so next up, we need to somehow crunch this one. This one's going to be a little trickier, I think. So let's grab some of these, save them for another day. Maybe, yeah, maybe. We'll go down to that one. Yeah, let's do that. So that is a separate. Actually, can I split? That's the one I want. Put that there. Yeah, y0. It's good. Let's let's just move that in actually, see how that goes. Beautiful. Now a straight line. Cool. Done. Right. Excellent. So let's put that on the wall where it should be. And where else do we want it? Maybe that one wall is good, I think. Yeah, no, I think we're going to do that. So with these other ones, I'm just going to remove them for now. Separate that separate. Nope. Make sure that this is on, so you make sure you get everything. Still not sure if I agree with how Blender does that. Like, it makes sense, but I don't know if it's good. All transform that one, so I can just drop it in kind of easily. Yeah. It is that one. Okay, assets. I don't want this to be where the main thing is. Is that main walls? Try walls. Selected, not animated, apply transform just in case, and go. Cool. Now, putting this in Riot walls. Generate light map UVs. We'll apply that. Materials, none. And we have a black, hopefully. Metal black? No. There we go. Theoretically, in the lobby, a little bit further back, which is fine. Yeah, so that's just a lot nicer. And a lot cooler. I might even remove the old wall and put that. Actually, I'm going to do that. So let's grab this tab, grab these two, delete it. How can I do this one though? Snap by vertex, maybe? Like that. And that's actually the main one. Problem is, there's a small gap there. After doing that, so let's fix that with a simple drag. Now, because there's like hardly any polygons on this one, a lot of polygons on this one, we're just gonna join those or export them as one. Maybe export them as one. I also need to check exactly what that looks like. So it's quite a lot of things, right? So ceiling, party glass, and party room. Okay. Ceiling, party glass, and party room. Okay. In that case, I'm going to rename this one so I can keep these all the same when exporting, like so. Yeah. File, export, FBX, and this goes to Mainmos. Fingers crossed. Yeah. So light mapping will be messed up because it's all different, but that's fine. So we can get rid of that one, and we can get rid of that one, and that's cool. All right. Now the next thing we want to do is we kind of want to get the same effect probably in here, and then we have the white on top and there as well. Maybe just the front. No, there, and there, but not the sides. Okay. That works. So let's get rid of, well, no, we want to keep that because we're going to need them when we make the other two elements, which is the counter and the postmix counter. Those two. Cool. Right. So I'm going to just duplicate that one Then we can hide the original. So this is going to be interesting because scale. So you have the wall, and I want this to be not too much smaller. Maybe a little bit. So I can scale that to maybe there. But that's going to be tricky. Very tricky. All right. So just because I've got that and that works, I'm going to attempt to do a flatten along this line, which is 100% going to be a thing. Let's just give that a shot and see how that scales. Probably not well, but who's to say? Oh, it's a snap-on. Yeah, I can get rid of that. Get rid of those 3. And I want to move that one down a fair bit. Will you play with these? It's not horrible. Yeah. Trying to make sure this is flat because that'll be neater. Shouldn't be too hard to do. This is an interesting one. Easy to fix there, I think. So put that over there. Put that up there. Maybe there. Excellent. Have a board. Okay. So I could use that for a lot of the spaces that we're going to. Well, a lot of the things. So let's get rid of this one for now and focus on this one. You can scale that down a little more. That's fine. Actually goes up under. And okay. Always something. Numpad period to focus on something. Like, that's interesting. But I think I like that actually more. Once again, I'm probably going to delete the base. of this, just because those are polygons that won't be seen. And it actually gets in the way of this one. So there is something going on here. Not exactly sure what it is. Like that, right? Okay. That might be a cut then. So if we do that to there, we'll have that. And then if we just put mark sharp on that, that'll be that. So that's problem solved. But then we can get rid of that one. Yes, that's what we want. Yeah, let's get rid of it. We'll never see it. If you don't see it, remove it. Okay. Done. Now, put that back on. There. Cool. Now, what we want to do from there is actually move that up. So I put the pivot. I don't use this very often, but why doesn't that work? Interesting. Okay, we'll do it this way then. Set origin to 3D cursor. And you've got that. So that works. That works. Maybe a little bit just to there. There. Cool. And the other thing we need to do is wrap this. Now, before I break it, I'm going to duplicate that because we're probably going to use it on the postmix counter. Yeah. Okay. Now I can do whatever I want with this. It's kind of what we want to do. And see through. So it cuts down there somehow. What I'm going to do, I'm going to grab these ones. Yeah. Split that. And then we can rotate that because that actually might line up quite well. So that's cool. If anything, we could hopefully well, the hope was that, but let's separate and see if that does anything. We have to. Do we have to? I'm not going to see it, so I might do that down to there instead. Yeah. And then we need to try to flatten this one. Scale Y, yep, 0. Is there an easy way to do this? I don't think so. So let's just do it manually. Turn that off. Snap that back to that. Put that one also there. F. That's high, that's flat. So we can move that one in a bit. Cool, nice and flat. And then we need to do that somehow with this one as well. I don't even know how I cut all of this to be honest. So let's okay. And then just cut it up, I guess. Like it doesn't look like it doesn't take that long, but it does look that cool. So I think so anyway. I really like this style. I don't know why, to be honest, but it's cool. Let's make sure that all aligns with the same level about there. And then make it all sharp. And then we can actually join these again. And just kind of do that. To clean it up a little bit. I'd actually do that. That might be kind of cool. And if we do that, okay, pretty happy with that, to be honest, because it looks cool. All right. Do I want to clean that up? I kind of do. I don't need to, but kind of want to as well. That one and that one, basically. So let's extrude that down to there. That's it. Okay. What else do we want to do? We kind of want to put a laptop and stuff here. Maybe draw like shelving. And that a shelf can literally be like a box. So I don't need to what would you call it? I can just do this, wrong one, that one. Scale it down a bit to about. The problem is with a lot of. Not that one. Yeah. Oh. With a lot of drawers, they're all embedded. So for that, I'm just going to do like a really fine that. Sharp, so that's good. And then we can actually kind of get rid of some of these actually. So it looks the part. And we'll see how it goes. Yeah. Now, once again, technically you would probably want a little bit or even another one like across there. Tricky. And in there. I'm going to undo that. And look at cutting just the things we want. That makes sense. Same here as well. So a little bit back. And I'll clean that up in a second. But we're just testing the idea of how do you do really good shelves? And do not know the answer to that yet. So let's try a few things. So I'm going to bevel this one a wee bit. And then I'm going to bevel these as well. Wee bit. And then I'm going to try and I have to clean that up as well. I'm hoping to do that afterwards. I should do it now, but I've already sort of selected them. And I don't want to. So this is that one. And extrude along normals. I think we can actually just make everything mark sharp. Yeah. Yeah. Like that looks it. Now the thing is, I could maybe, and once again, just because I'm a little bit over the top with polygon count, I could actually get rid of all the back because you're never going to see that, right? That said, I do want to do this one, which is hopefully going to clean up some of these. So I'm going to get real close to that. and then go merge by distance 0.01, 0.05, 0.1. Okay. Yeah. So you can see the detail, which is what I want. It's very subtle, what I want. And then we need some handled things. And for that, what style will we go? I think it's straight. With the sharp angular approach, I'd probably go straight. So this is actually quite easy. So let's make a really big one, and then make it really small. There. Ah, that way, just a little bit. I don't want it, for some reason, I want it really thin. Not too sure. I don't know. Also, I don't know if this is like 1 centimeter or whatnot. But if it is, that's good because then it's like kind of accurate. There. Let's put that one in, and then we can just extrude this somewhat. Down. There. And then one more. Then we have a handle. Line those up with ZX0. Yeah, that should do. And then we want to actually get rid of those two because you'll never see them. And there we go. The perfect handlebar. Now I'm just going to set the origin to the center. That'll do. And then we can sort of plonk these down as needed. Now the material, I want that to actually be black. So what's this one? Black. And I can get rid of probably everything else. So let's do that. But we want that to also be black. And then we can put it on the things. So like here. Ah. Yep. And let's duplicate that one and just put it, say 4. Yeah, I think 4 is good. We sort of want to just put it on all of the direction across here. So those two, like so, and those two, like so. Like that. Oh, it is. Uh, yeah, all right. We also want to match all of those up to one asset. Now, Unity would probably do this automatically if they were the same material and they're on static and all the rest of it. But to be honest, we probably just want to keep everything that's the same material and close together as one asset. And everything else can be just the white color one. Don't have. Do we have a white? Let's just make it plastic. Okay. Yeah. What happened to that? Okay. Whatever. Sorry that. We'll put stuff on this to make that look more interesting. We also want this to actually have lighting. So this is all lighting, if I recall. Yep. And I think I actually have. Let's make this clear. That did not work. Okay, so let's do this. I'm gonna grab that assign, and then we're gonna try this again. Hopefully it works. There we go. All right. So that's cool. So we can export this and see what that looks like in Mona. And this is the counter front desk. All right, now we're looking at something, which is pretty cool. Let's make sure the right, that one. So I got these. So Blender does seem to import materials, but if you want control over them, I usually will make them again. So we've got sort of plastic. We've got the black, and we do have the glow, which is that one, right? And then we have more control over what's going on with it. We also need to make that a static, which it is, and then when it lights the lighting, that'll be really cool, theoretically. So there's that. Now we need to do that again with this. So let's jump into that. What was it? Postmix machine. Counter? Yep. Postmix try. Yep. Goes, actually, get rid of the original. It's just that front we're going to get rid of. And then we can move that in. We use the snap. because that'll be neater. So, catch with this one is we have to cut it off there. So another clean work. And we're going to do that by... this might be a bit easier, actually. Yeah, okay. LX, Y, 0, GY. Done. Too easy. And I might move some of that kind of over as well. Just to give it a bit of space. Turn that off. That does seem a little bit something. There we go. Cool, done. Now this one also needs some light. Yeah. Yeah, that's basically it. Let's do that then. This is the actual postmix counter. Good, good. Down to the postmix counter, and let's get the materials on there. So that's, once again, plastic, white, and nope, that one. Right. Now the next thing we'd probably do is a cool tile on the floor. But I think that's sort of good for now. How are we going for time? Exactly 1 hour. Excellent. So what I might do is get a drink while this bakes, so we can see how this looks with the lights going down and stuff. So I'm going to save that because that's very important. Kind of want to put in there, but yeah, those are all lighting. So let's see how that looks after we've got sort of this nice lighting and clean there. Cool. You crashed? Is that what? No. this. Yeah. Okay. So, big tip for the day: never do anything when you're baking in Unity, because you'll probably lose it. And make sure you save before you do it. Oh, yeah. So, as a genius that I am, I did save it before baking. So, hopefully, I can just go bake now, not do anything, and it'll work fine. So, I clicked on Discord. That's all I did. Don't do that. Let's see. Let's try again. Is this working? This doesn't work. I think I'll move on to not light by me. Give it 30 more seconds. She's up. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So I'm not going to do that. I think with OBS Studio streaming and all the rest of it, it's slowing down a bit too much. So I'll do that off stream. So imagine all the lighting looks amazing. What I'll do for the next bit though is kind of the thing I want to do with a lot of my spaces is have a bunch of little things, like really subtle things that don't really do anything, but when you find it, it's kind of cool. So one idea is I want to create like I think so if you get close to a postmix machine, it'll post mix. So that also means that I need to do like, what would you call it? texturing. It's like animation of like something coming down out of a thing. So stuff like that. So for that though, I'm gonna get rid of all of these. Get rid of the tri-walls. I'm gonna rename that for future use. Is the postmix in here? Yes. Why are there two of them? Ah, because of reasons. Okay. Okay. So what we want, did we export them as separate? 1, 2, 3, which is added from that one. Okay, so these two can have stuff in it, and we can figure that out as we need it. Okay, so that works. So these, basically, we're going to have to look at some. These things are going to have to be, well, just one actually has to be separate. No, we want them separate. So this one and this one. Good as any. Now, the reason we're separating those is because I want to animate them. Yeah. So one, what do you even call this bit? Lever, that'll work. So each one has a slightly different lever. Do we just, no, we want to do, no, we'll just do what? No, we'll just do the one. Sometimes I think I go a little bit too overboard with the optimization. So we need the, what would you call it? We need the, origin to be, let's say, in the geometry. I'm actually going to get rid of these post mixes because I want this to be at the top. Now, is that on it? In there? No, close enough. Now, for that, I'm actually pressing Shift and right click. I think I found this by mistake. But it does the job, actually. So you can set origin to 3D cursor. So Shift right click. Let's make sure it's at the right point, which it is. And then same again, set origin to 3D cursor. All right. So that way, when I rotate it based on the, oh no, what? 3D cursor. Yeah, that's way wrong. So let's try that again. Cursor. Okay. So the theory is when I rotate it, let's put it on the X, the Y. So it'll do that sort of thing. So I want to go in and then some water or monocolor comes out because that'll be cool. Now the next thing we need to do is kind of running liquid. So for that we need probably a cylinder. So let's do that. It's going to be very big. And we want this to be maybe 8. Yeah, that's 6. Yeah, that'd be fine. Now this is because it's going to be so small. 6 is fine. Like there's no issue with that as a number. Kind of want it super thin. Sort of put it there, I think it is. And let's just see through it and move it down. Now I'll need to do kind of, I'll need to be, what would you call it? Now I could do particles down here, or I could do, I think particles is probably better. I haven't played with particles enough, and this is a good example of trying to do that. So let's do that. And we also need one on the other one, which is that one. Okay. So I'm going to put that to shade smooth. I'm also going to get rid of the top and the bottom. And let's name that. One. Or water. Same, so it's nice and neat. Postmix water. Cool. Let's do that. Shift D. 2. There we go. And once again, move that across. There. Okay. Next thing we need to do is these will have their own texture. And for that, I'm going to just select that. No, we need one line, that one, and that one, and go mark seam. Because the theory is, I don't know, we just do that. That works. Now, so in Unity, this would be based on either a shader that moves the water down, or not. So I'm actually going to make this bigger, so the image can be quite small, but the quality of this, because I can just do a tiling loop of that, and that'll work pretty well. And that's it for that. What else do we need to do? And the particles at the bottom, which will do a little bit of a spray, which we can do in Unity as well. So with that in mind, we want all of these to be exported as one asset. Let's make this. Let's do a new one. Just call it water. Same with this one. Okay. So that's what we need for our post-mix machine. Export that. Go in. We can get rid of this one because we're gonna set all this up. And we also need our, let's do a water texture. So let's grab glass, duplicate that. And just say water down for now. And we'll get on that later. So go to post mix, move that around. That is water. So we'll put that in there now. Apply. Okay, cool. Um, right. So what we need to do next is animate this. We need a little particle there, so we'll do that. I'll do everything else out because once again, I'm not too sure about particles. I haven't used them very often, if at all, to be honest. So I'll do that last. I'll make everything else work and try to do that. The question I'm looking at now is, okay, how do we get? Do we just do two? Do we copy them across? It's basically the same thing. So I might just grab these two and then move them across once they're done. I think that'll make more sense. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. So let's get into it. An animation for our postmix is so generally speaking, if you're doing animations, the first one you need to do is the idle. What is the state of the asset in its idle state? So let's do postmix idle. So we've got that. We can turn on the recorder and we're going to hide some things. So the water is going to be off on both. Cool. That's good. We also need the rotation of that one. So I'm going to make sure pivot and local is on. Hold down control so I can snap it and go snap, snap. So that way the idle, like it knows that this position is animated. So when it transitions to the idle, as the other one, we can sort of like that'll be correct. Otherwise, it won't work correctly. I don't think. So just make sure you have the things that are meant to be animated in all of them, so it knows how to transition to it. That's it. We'll add. Yeah, we'll have to add the particle later. I'll do everything else for now. So create new clip, and we'll do post mix. The catch is these are not separate objects anymore because this is one, which makes it more complicated for having, like if I had one person here and one person here, but it's all of it's one animation, that's not going to work. So I'm going to have to redo how I think that. So I'm going to get rid of that. Yep. Cancel that. Yeah, no, we're going to have to do that a little bit different. So a little bit different looks like postmix 1 and postmix 2. That one's going to go, which is fine. We're going to add our textures. So it was post mix and water, which is good. And then we can just drag and drop that. It's always a little hard to get in there, but you can do it by doing that. Okay. Okay, so I placed it kind of manually. So that's interesting. So let's put that up there. Out there. Focus. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to snap that to that and then move it across. Because I am lazy. All right, that's good. Okay. So now that we have two separate ones, we're basically going to have to do two animators, to be honest. So let's do that then. I'm just going to remove that because it's a little bit tricky to understand what's going on and get rid of the assets that you don't use. So let's try that again. So first one, create. Postmix 01 idle on. We want to hide that, and we want to rotate that. Scan, control, control. Perfect. Create new clip. Postmix 1 spray. 1. So we need to turn that on. No, not that one. Undo that. Water on. Lever. Let's go back maybe one. I think one works. Maybe a little bit more. I want to make it a little obvious kind of thing. Because at distance and small things, you probably won't notice the difference, but yeah. The thing is, this one, and we're gonna have to go back to the other one. Offset, I think. Do I have a good water texture off my head? Okay, let's see. Let's go back into the archives and see if we've got anything I can use temporarily for that. This goes way back. Where are all my textures for this? Water normal. That works. Okay, let's get rid of that one then. Okay, so water material, water normal. Yeah, that'll do for now. Fix now. Let's get the tile. Let's turn that off because we don't want to animate any of this. Let's do 0.1. Nope, not that way. So that's a 1.1. Yeah. Yeah, right. What does that look like? Like, it looks good. Doesn't look right, but it looks good. It's the best way to describe that. Nope, not that way. Okay. So let's go back to idle. Put on animation. Oh, it doesn't matter because it's hidden. Yeah, that's fine. So back to spray. We want this to be 0.1 and then back to 0 with that on. What we'd like it to do. Sometimes, because this does happen actually more than it should. If you're having difficulty accessing some of this and it's not animating, go to add property. And if I recall, you can go down here. So if it's trying to figure out what it is. It's offset? No. Yeah, offset. Hmm. Oh, okay. Hang on. Yeah. So that's it. You can't animate the material on its own. You have to animate the material on the object. So if I click on the object and do this, that will animate. That's what it was. That is 100% a thing I forget every single time. All right, so let's go up to, let's say 1. Make this 1 because that will be a full loop. Press play. We also need to right mouse click and go auto so it loops correctly. Maybe a bit slower. Five times. A bit slower. So let's go 3.5. That is the right amount. That looks like it looks all right, to be honest. I don't mind it. Also, I feel like it should be sort of cola for reasons. Raspberry, perhaps. I'm not sure. Ah, that's animated. We don't want that, actually. Ah. Oh, that's interesting. You can animate while it's moving. Okay, that's interesting. Let's remove that one. That's interesting, though. No, you could do that. Okay, so get rid of that, and then change the color to cola. And probably don't want to be as clear, so let's go a little bit more. There we go. All right. Cool. So for the time that we have, basically I'm going to do this with both of these. One of these, both of these. Right, so that's that one. And then we can sort of jump to this one. And sometimes, once again, if you jump to a different thing and it's doing something, make sure to move the playhead so it does it. I guess is one way to say it. Because yeah, pretty important with that sort of thing. What I might do is I'll set up the reactor for this one. So for that, we need to go to our animation. So we have postmix and spray. We're going to get a parameter. So you got layers and parameters. Get the parameter. Add that to Boolean, I guess. Let's go spray. So if I tell this to spray, spray. When I tell it to stop, stop. Because we are doing this by trigger, we're going to turn this off so we can activate it whenever we want. And whenever we want is when we set this to true, or spray to true. And same with this, we want to put this to false. Because we sort of want it instantly on and instantly off, I'm going to make this transition be like 0.001. Same with this 0.001. Okay. Now, once again, we haven't played with your actor at all yet. This is purely a animation and different states with a parameter that we control by reactor. So now that we have this animation set up, we can create the reactor to trigger it. So let's do that. Reactor spray 1. So first up, we need to add the reactor. Yep. And just so I don't forget, I'm going to add a box collider as well. And then we're going to find it. So that's sort of around the object, which is great. And click on that to edit it. So basically, if I'm in front of, exactly in front of this postmix machine, maybe a little higher, and down. If I'm exactly in front of this, turn it on. Maybe a little bit out front. I think that'll be cool. A little lower side here. Cool. So when I touch this collider, we can stop editing. I pretty much always have gizmos off, but sometimes you'll need to turn it on so you see what it's doing. So when we enter, start spray. I don't know why this is, and it's very frustrating. So we're going to have to do the best we can. So we want to set. Will that help? No. Set the post mix, so the asset there. Okay, this is better. With the parameter spray boolean to, and I can't even see the thing under it. I don't think this is a Mona thing. This is just Unity being Unity. So, okay, so I'll have to explain it, and hopefully you can figure out what I'm trying to do. So the start spray name is just the name of the asset. Set is what we're doing, like the action. So we can add numbers, subtract, multiply, divide, or invert. So flip from 1 to -1 or true to false. But in this case, we want to set it. So when we enter the trigger, set this object's, what do you call it? Parameter, which we set as spray, which is a Boolean, to, and there's usually another one under here that you would say true. Maybe I can hide this one. Oh, that might work. Better. Stop spray. Now, this one is purely to rename this. That's all it is. Set the postmix object, and I can't do that because of the thing. Okay. So unfortunately, that's out of it. So I need to look into that and see if I can figure out how to fix that. Tell me in the comments if you actually have that problem. It could just be me, and I don't know why that is. It's very frustrating because I can't do reactors. But anyway, so you would set that, and then when you walk into it, it starts this animation, and then when you walk out of it, it'll switch to this animation, and that's basically how Reactor works. So two things in mind. Basically, most of it, like 90% of Reactor is just doing animations and controlling it with the animator, and then Reactor is telling animator what to do on different events, such as soon as you touch the trigger and as soon as you leave the trigger. So yeah, that's that. But I can't do it because reasons. So yeah, that's that. And then I would do the second one, so I would have the two reactors, and then I would, once I've done those two, I would create a prefab of both, and then duplicate maybe another 2 or 3 down here. So that would be my approach to the things. Okay. So we'll leave that for now, because I can't do reactor until I fix that one thing. What else can we do? Colliders, yeah. So I've definitely noticed that, like, say for example, there's a lot of issues with how a lot of these assets are working, and as it stands, these are mostly mesh colliders, and that's kind of okay on these meshes are very low polygon. But sometimes I actually prefer, if I want a little bit more control. So let's remove that. Remove that. So I'm basically going to do box colliders on all of these to have a bit more control over what's going on in my what would you call it? With my elements, but also just being able to know what I'm doing with a lot of these things. So I'm going to put this up the top. And for now, let's do a simple box collider that I can edit at the front. So the floor, for example, instead of having meshes kind of everywhere, done. Which is really good. So yeah, super performant, much easier to deal actually with. So yeah, I'm going to copy this component and then paste it. And that way I can just make this one the ceiling because people jump too much. There we go. Now, sometimes you'll find that you won't be able to get past that line. It's because it's the other one. So keep that in mind when you're dealing with that sort of choice. I don't need to make them big, but I will. So that's that. Now I'm actually going to put these under a few different elements. So I'm going to do colliders main. And then floor and ceiling. And this way I just have a little bit more control over what's going on. So it's easy to see what's what. And then I can create a new child and then do colliders wall. Actually, I can just do the walls because everything is going to be colliders. So once again, box collider, put that up. Now we kind of don't want people to go through the triangle, so I'm actually going to put that a little bit bigger, like so. Put that up the top, like so. Fine. And then I'm going to duplicate that one and do a paste and then drag that over here. So that's a prime example of the wrong wall. So sometimes I'll just move that back out and then grab that one and then it's good to go. That's good. Now one thing I do just to, once again, make it clean, is do sides. So all of the sides are going to have these boxes. So I can, yeah, once again, I'll grab these. Well, actually, no, let's just go paste component as new. And then we've got this one up here. One. There we go. Can do that. Just go top mode. Once again, you can click this to go sort of perspective or orthographic. Orthographic is good for lining these sort of things up, so I do that all the time. I'm going to copy that one for the same reason. It was the right one. Good. So those are the sides. And I'm actually going to paste that again and just put it in the middle. So this can be the whole middle area. So we don't have to worry about that one anymore. Cool. New box collider. Edit it. Let's move this one down. Now, I think for now, I'm not going to worry about these elevators. I'm going to worry about them later. So for now, I just need to make sure there's a wall, which there now is. Now, because I started from nothing, that won't be a wall. So that's good there. And then we need to do one at the top as well. So copy that. And paste as new. Yep. All right. So that's that. That's the walls done. Now, one thing that has been bothering me, and this is the main one I actually wanted to get with, was the sort of glass wall. So let's do party room box collider. So this is going to go here. Now I do have a door there, which I need to go through. So this is going to stay. So I need to make sure it goes on this side of the door. It goes to the roof, like so. I'll need to put another one across here. But for now, this will do for the other side as well. So. Yep. Let's just paste as new again. Go that a little bit further, like there. Yep. And let's grab this one. It was the same one I had, but that's fine. In order to sort of quickly do this. Okay. So that's that. Now the next thing we want to do is kind of like the chairs and tables and stuff. So I'm gonna add another one. Now these are all simple assets, like these are right angle chairs and stuff like that. So that's actually, it's not difficult to do that on this level. But if you had more complicated furniture, then yeah, a optimized mesh collider might be the better way to do it. So it really depends on the asset that you're creating. I highly recommend not using mesh collider on a not advanced, complex mesh, because that is just asking for trouble, basically. So yeah. So I was thinking of doing one asset for all and copying it 3 times. But what I'm going to do is have one asset for each set of chairs. So let's do this. Chairs 3. Then I can duplicate that. And I can rotate it. Now, this is the best way to do rotating colliders, basically, is put them in an object and then rotate the object. The box collider, you can't rotate it, for example. So you kind of have to do it with that in mind, which is a bit of a pain, but it is possible to get around pretty easily if you're doing this sort of approach to colliders. So let's duplicate. Yeah, that. Let's do that again. Put that around. Now I could move that in, I guess. Not going to, but could. Might eventually, just cause. Just cause. Right. That's that. So we have our chairs, and yeah, super simple colliders. So this will be really fast for that sort of thing. Next, we want the tables. So we're going to add another one. And there's basically 3 tables. So once again, box collider. Let's go front and get it the right height. Length. And then we can just copy that and paste it for these other 2 in the corners. Easily enough. Right. The last thing we need to do is the stage. So let's put that in its own. That said, we could also do some really quick ones for the microphones as well. Although, if I move the microphones, maybe I'll put it on the microphone. So we'll figure that out in a moment. For now, just want to get the right height, which I think is there. Get the edge though. Maybe there. Okay. Let's put one on the microphone as well. So once again, choose the object, put a box collider on it. And let's simplify that a bit because it's mostly about the top. The bottom we can run through. So that seems the right height. And because this is one microphone, I'm going to apply all. Therefore, prefabs are great. It's already done. Okay. All right, so perfect time, nearly 2 hours for the stream. So let's have a quick summary on what we did and what didn't work. So basically added some detail. I think this is one thing that I need to practice a little more in regards to like how do you make something look good, and interesting, but not in a way that's too in your face. So yeah, and because I like that particular style of thing with the lighting and all the rest of it, and I've kind of already used it with the cinema that I'm working on. Basically, I think that's going to be my thing for now. So if I make any new really weird stuff, I might just use that as a an approach, which would be, I don't know, kind of cool. So I did that. It would look better if I could light map it. It didn't work. So I'm gonna have to try and like reboot the machine and see if that works. It probably will. I'm not too worried about it. If it doesn't, one thing I would probably try and do is actually create a mintable file, start a new template, and then import that asset into the scene. And that would be like a really clean reset of the whole space. So if things are breaking a lot, one way to get around that is by making a mintable file and then importing it into a new template. And then if there is any assets in your old one that you haven't got in the scene, you could drag and drop them into the project file down here, and then continue on your way. So that's like a last straw situation that's come up sometimes. So yeah, I'll light map eventually. I'm assuming these will look a lot better because you have like the light under there, which will be pretty cool. We also added or started to add a reactor for the little devices here. Once again, very subtle, very small, but I think it'd be kind of cool when you walk in front of it. Unfortunately, my reactor UI is always a bit weird. I think it works on other, it does it on other things as well. So once again, I don't think it's a Mona thing, it's a Unity thing. So I might look into that. The last thing we looked at is adding colliders. So we moved from the quick and easy mesh collider approach to a box collider approach, which is a little more performant. Takes a little bit longer, but yeah. Also gives me, in a way, a little bit more control, actually, in that if I need to adjust something really quick, I can do that with my space. So that's where we're looking at this week. We'll wrap it up there. Thanks for watching and have a good day. Happy building.